breathing is something that's going to happen automatically for us, but if we aren't breathing in a way that is the most efficient way to breathe to stabilize our spine, then our nervous system is going to recruit a lot of different things for compensation. So the efficient way to breathe, the foundation of that is being able to get in a certain position with our spine to where we can maximize the ability to create pressure. And so that position is, we want to have the pelvis and the rib cage, we want them to be horizontally stacked. A common thing that I see with people is we see the pelvis sort of in an anterior tilt and then the rib cage tilting backwards, to where if you look at the trajectory of both of these, we have this sort of a deal going, which is called open scissor position. So in order to be able to create the amount of intra-abdominal pressurization that we need to stabilize our spine properly, and that's essentially really what our core is, if we're doing it effectively, we need to be in a position where we have this horizontal stacking. So having said that, a lot of times what I see people do too is ask them to take a nice deep breath, and we see the shoulders go up, the spine arches back, and we're not creating any pressure in through here. So again, our breath is designed to stabilize us, to stabilize our spine, so we have a really solid center that our nervous system feels safe to allow things to move around it and to give full power and force to our limbs, to generate force around a really stable center. So what we want to work on doing is being able to breathe down low into the abdomen. I'm going to go side profile and place my hands kind of in my low belly and on my back, and so I want you to just notice how you see my hands moving when I'm breathing. And if you look, you should be able to see that my hands, there's not as much movement back here just because of the bony structure, but my hands are moving away from each other because I am recruiting breath all the way down into my low abdomen. I'm not just doing a big belly doming breath without having any movement down here. So that's kind of the first area that we want to look at. We also want to make sure that we're getting movement of the ribs, not only out to the side, but also front and back. So I'll show you what the out to the side looks like. And again, just watch for how you see my hands moving. And then I'll show front to back. And again, you see that my hands are moving away from each other and back close to each other. So on the inhale is when everything should be expanding out. We want it to be more even, more like a cylinder or like a barrel, without having like a big belly breath and no movement in the ribs and no movement down into the lower abdomen. So one way that we can work on this, if we get ourselves into the 3-month developmental position, which is at around 3 months of age, what babies start to do when they're able to connect to this, is they just hang out on their backs with their legs up in the air. So if we put ourselves into that position, either by using a stability ball or couch, whatever you have available to you, you can work on the breath, working to get it into those same places. So just noticing here, just positioning of the legs. And you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to bring your awareness down into the low abdomen. And so that's the thing we're looking for. We want to have movement evenly, not just a big belly breath. I can't even connect to trying to do that, but we don't want to just get a big dome here. We want to get it evenly spread down into the low abdomen, up into the ribs, and just evenly kind of all around. You can use a TheraBand or some sort of a belt or something with a little bit of give to it to wrap around your rib cage and hold on to, so that you have that feedback that as you inhale that you're getting expansion through the rib cage. So that's something that is going to help whatever you're trying to do as far as training, especially if you have back pain, different things like that with loading. I will commonly see people with ankle restrictions and the inability to dorsiflex the ankle all the way, because some of that is being sacrificed just to create stability further up the chain. So there's a lot of significance and importance in breathing in the most efficient way, which is the way that I just demonstrated. And that's not to say that if you do yoga or play an instrument or sing or do something like that, there's different types of breathing for different kinds of activities. But this is our everyday breathing, and if we don't have this established, then we're just going to have to recruit to get help from elsewhere just to have a baseline of stability so that we can do other things, which is going to take away from the ability of those other things to maximally do their job because they're having to help out with something that they're not even designed to do. So just by maximizing and getting more efficient with our breathing patterns, we can automatically gain more power in our, like in lifting and different things in sports and activities, because our big mover muscles no longer have to be recruited just to help stabilize us. So, and the brain feels much more safe because we're really solid through the center. So basically the brakes are taken off and we can automatically get access to more power into our muscles that was just being pumped on and not allowed to access just because there wasn't enough stability around the center to allow things that are attached to the center to move with as much force as they possibly have. So that